Hello, everybody. How are you? As you can see, we only have two concepts on this channel. It's either me only woken up late, also very late, with my coffee, or me after work without my coffee but with my joint. You see, we have this like I haven't even woken up all that much. I had only one sip of this coffee. So I'm a bit woozy. I was playing video games until very late last night. Yes, I still do that. I haven't done that in so long, and it feels so nice to just like sit and play video games. And like, I talked about that in the last video too, that I really missed playing Stardew Valley, and I started playing Stardew Valley again because I'm a very busy person, and like I didn't have the time to play Stardew Valley, and I was like, playing video games is a waste of time, and it's like not good for me, but it's actually good for me, and it's like actually good for my soul, and I actually like it. And now that I actually have found time to do it, to be more active in my video game universe, I'm really happy, and I do feel fulfilled. Like, I also give myself, it's self-care for me, okay? It's self-care for me, and I love it. So the minus in that is that, I smoke weed. I can see myself in the reflection of the mirror. Hello. But I can I can like smoke weed and play video games until like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And then I go to sleep, and the next day, usually every day I wake up at like 9:30, or like 8:30, sometimes even 7. Like, I like mornings, but as much as I like nights too. But yeah, when I do that, like when I stay up until like 4 or 5 a.m., I end up waking up at like 12, at like 1 p.m. You know what I mean? Now it's 2:50, and it took me like 1 hour to get looking like this, and like go get my coffee and stuff like that to make this whole thing happen. But it's still pretty late. 1:50, like 1 p.m. It's pretty late for me. Anyways, today I actually have a kind of a serious subject that I, out of nowhere, felt urged. Like, it usually is like this, right? Every video that I post is like, I felt urged to post this, to talk about this. That's like so rude. Can you like die in silence? No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking. But anyway, so today's subject is a bit heavy, so prepare yourself, okay? It could be triggering also to many people, and that is why I'm doing it, to trigger you, but for the better. So, we're going to talk about anorexia and why it is a choice to stay in that situation and in that community and in that state. That's what we're going to be discussing today. And I am an anorexia survivor. I get chills from saying it out loud because, I don't really speak about that, and I don't know, like I do speak about that, but like not vocally, not vocally. So it's a bit strange for me to be saying the words out loud, But yeah, no, I've been very like um public about this. I guess like every anniversary, I guess, that I have since my healing, I always post a bunch of photos of myself and of my journey and shit like that. And I get a lot of responses from people being like, "Oh my god, thank you." Like, thank you. You know what I mean? Cuz yeah, of course there will be the people who will say, "Oh, you're advocating for anorexia by posting your photos, by telling your story." But this is also like a part of the reason I wanted to make this video, that people take it that way because they choose to take it that way, right? Because it's something that could help them, has the potential to uplift the community, but they don't want to get uplifted, so why would they take that in that way, you know? So I'm here today to just like give you reality check. That's what I'm doing. I'm giving you a reality check. Hello. Wake up. Well, so like, yeah, I post my story and shit like that, and tell my story, and yeah, so I kind of lost what I wanted to say. I'm not high, but I did stay up until 4 a.m. smoking weed, and I haven't had my coffee yet. So, yeah. And also, it's kind of like a very wide topic that I can like think about so many things that I want to say, that I want to share. So I don't know where to begin. Let me start, okay, with my journey, I guess. Like, so right now I am in the healthiest state I've ever been, says as she is drinking coffee. But strong also. A lot of caffeine is entering my body right now. And as I am saying, I live so healthy. But I am living healthy. Like, I always eat. It's because I love food, and I always loved food, and that was the biggest like annoyance of my anorexia, is that I've always loved the taste of food. I always like had a connection with it, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a chef or anything. I'm not a culinary expert, right? But if my taste buds could be a culinary expert, they would have been. You know what I mean? So for me, they are. You know what I mean? Yeah. I grew up with a mom who was bulimic. My mom was, I think she was anorexic too, but I don't know. When she was my age, maybe a bit younger, till when she was when she was my age, she was already my mom. Like, I was 2 when she was 19. So, like, yeah. But, yeah, like, since she was a bit younger than me, and until I was, like, 8, I was, like, 12. Until then, she had eating disorders. So, like, you knew I had a good example, right? Not to shame my mom or anything like that, because it is an illness. It is a disorder. You know what I mean? And yes, of course, she also chose to stay there for that long. But she also chose a lot of not good things to stay in at that time. At those times. It's a very wide time span. But, yes. It's a choice, you know? And once she chose not to be that way anymore, she wasn't. But my point is, right, she was bulimic. And she was having also restrictive diets, and she would never eat bread and tell me, and I would ask her, like, why don't you eat bread, mom? And she would be like, because it's fattening. It will make me fat. And I was like, So should I not eat bread because it's gonna make me fat? Like, that's what I was thinking, you know? But as a child, she was like, you can eat bread. And I was like, do you want me to be fat? Like, what? I didn't understand the situation. I already was growing up in a crime scene, okay? I was already growing up in a battlefield, and I like how every time I say stuff like this and look at myself, I'm like, yeah, I'm that stereotype. I don't want to be that stereotype, but I am. Like, what am I gonna do about it? I can't do anything about it, you know? Just claim it and embrace it, you know? So yeah, like, also my grandmom was the exact opposite. My grandmom was a bit overweight, and my dad's mom, not my mom's mom, we don't talk about her, cancelled. But my dad's mom, she was making the best food, like large amounts. She's Georgian, like, so best food, you know, that Georgian food is the best, definitely. More than like what Ukrainian ass food you have. Like, you don't really have a lot of, you know, variety, let's say it like that, in the ingredients, anything. I don't know how is this related. I'm just like blabbering about food, but because my attention span is not doing justice today to this whole saga. But she would make a lot of food and would feed me a lot of food, and she had very, very unhealthy food habits, eating habits, anything like that, just because, like, herself, right? She would not inflict those upon me. She would make me healthy food, and she would make me, like, a healthy amount on my plate, and, like, would give me food at healthy times, yes? But, like, what I would see her doing is, like, not eating healthy things, and not treating food in a healthy way. She was, like, restricting herself, but also, like, eating and feeling guilty for eating and stuff like that. That's why I said trigger warning, because even some of those phrases could make people be like this, you know? And I know that, just because sometimes I even go like this, even though I'm healed, and it's been, like, 2 years since then, yeah? It's just, like, those phrases that, you know, like, should be, like, taken for granted. You should be just eating, you know? Especially after you're healed, thinking about saying those things and, like, wording them in that way, it's like, yo, that's even a reality check in itself. But and it gets you like this, you know, like, uncomfortable, uncomfy. So if talking about this makes you uncomfy, okay, so why do you do it, is what I'm saying. But anyway, yeah, and I had so many fucking reasons to feel like I'm not good enough, in every possible way, because I am an Aquarius. I told you I'm gonna bring up this tattoo in every fucking video. And you know how Aquarians are so fucking different from everybody, most times, you know. And I didn't have the best luck when it came to that, because nothing I did, okay, I posted the video about that too, but nothing I ever did, yeah, made people accept me in that age, in that time. Nothing, okay? I was just too different, too out there, yeah. So as I got, like, into puberty a bit, I would say I was like 8, that I started, like, growing up, like, 8 is, like, the most embarrassing. 8 until, like, 12 is the most embarrassing age ever, just because you can't wear anything. Like, you can't wear anything. You can't just go buy clothes in the kids shop because they're not gonna fit. And you can't just go buy clothes at women's shops because they're gonna be like too feminine, like too womanly, you know? And it's not, you just don't have clothes to wear. That's what I'm saying. Like, but, and also, as I started my puberty, I started gaining weight, which was healthy, was perfectly fine, and wasn't overweight at that time at all, you know? And I was just like, what a healthy weight is for a child that's like 8. I had a belly and shit like that. And like, my grandparents will always fucking comment on my belly and the fact that I need to lose some weight and the fact that like I would want to wear something, and she would be like, well, is that gonna fit you? But not in a bad way, because she really didn't think it was gonna fit me. And not that she saw a problem with that, but she actually didn't see a problem with that. That's why I was so fucking confused, because like, you're saying, oh, it's not gonna fit you. It's not gonna fit you, but when it does, you're like, oh, cute. Oh, nice. And like, you keep feeding me all this stuff, and from mom, I know that food makes you fat. So like, wait, somebody's calling me. Oh, my dad. Sorry, my dad called. He has started a new job today, and it's pretty cool, pretty amazing. But yeah, so on one hand, they kept feeding me, and on the other hand, kept showing me unhealthy habits, right? Because I grew up with my grandmom, and I had like an early like memory of my mom not eating because she didn't want to get fat. So it was between them feeding me a lot, showing me unhealthy habits with food. Them, I mean my grandparents. And also between that, commenting on my weight. But I don't think they thought I would actually understand what they're saying and take them seriously, because they acted as if I don't understand, like what they are saying when they are saying it's not gonna fit you. You need to lose weight. Like, they thought I was a child, Adults sometimes think children can't think, so they fuck their thinking up, you know what I mean? So like, oh, you can't think, you won't think about this, right? So I can give you the most horrendous thing that you can process, because you're not gonna process it, right? So we're just gonna give it to you. Newsflash, they do process it. For humans, we do that. But anyway, I was looking in the mirror, and I was not liking. I started not liking what I was seeing, because I saw I did have a small belly, and I would try to like tuck it in, and I was like 8. Okay. No, like, what the fuck? Now that I'm thinking back on it, I was just fucking 8, you know what I mean? But I guess that's what, yeah. So that was around the time I also started getting bullied in primary school, and I was severely bullied in primary school. Like, they were fucking cutting my hair, throwing me into the trash, throwing my stuff into the trash, tying me up with shit. Like, it was a shit show. Like, throwing water at me, like bottles and bottles of water, like the whole you get the point. So they also, maybe they felt a sense of it in the air, that it's something that started to grow on me as an insecurity, but they started commenting on my body, and it was on second grade. Okay, I was 8. So So yeah, they started commenting on my body, blah 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 blah. I would get in more into it, being like, oh my god, yeah, they are right, I'm fat, like. And what's funny was that I had a best friend at the time, who she was my biggest bully. Like, I was her slave, I wasn't her friend, okay? I just needed her validation, but like I was her slave basically. So she would like sit next to me in class and just like insult me and like fucking, I don't know, insult me to people next to me, around me, in school, in class, whatever, but like would be nice to me when I sit with her, like would take me to her house and shit like that, but also make me feel disgusting every second. Um, yeah. So she was doing diet. She was way fuller than I was. Like I was really small next to her, and she wasn't fat. Nobody was fat in this story, okay? Other than some people, but like my grandmom was overweight, and but it doesn't really matter, right? So this girl, she was doing all these diets and stuff like that, and she wanted to like be sexy, and she was wearing crop tops, and she was like, yeah, like the boys like that, and like I gotta look good to wear something like that. So like I don't eat, and I do diets, and I do this and I do that, and I was like, oh, that's how you get fit, that's how you get skinny, you stop eating. And I was like, yeah, my mom does that too, like, okay, so it works, she does it. And she was like the most popular girl, whatever, and like, yeah, so slowly I was like looking at food as my enemy, right? And I started not eating, basically. And every time I would eat, I would be like, oh my god, this is horrible. I can't do that. Oh my god, I'm eating. I'm gonna die. Like, I'm gonna be so fat. Nobody's gonna like me. I'm not gonna like me. Like, I wanna cry as I'm like eating my breakfast. And I'm like 8, 9, 10, like, yeah. But during that time, I didn't stop eating. I would just torture myself every time somebody forced me to eat. I would be like, no, I don't want to eat. And I would be like, okay, fine. Because I don't want them to think that I'm sick or something, that I don't want to eat, or like I don't want people to notice me, right? So I'm just gonna torture myself in my own mind. And as long as you don't offer me food, I'm not gonna go and take it. But at some point, and yeah, I would torture myself, blah 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 blah, be like, oh my god, I can't do this is gonna make me fat, this is gonna make blah, 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 all of this bullshit. And then my like grandmom started working a lot, and my mom moved to Tel Aviv with her ex-fiance, and just stayed with my dad, and my dad was a pot smoker who plays video games. And now I can actually see why my mom thinks we're similar. But yeah, a pot smoker who was unemployed and was only playing video games all day in his bedroom. Like, I would and sleeping all day. Like, I would want to eat, but he would not be making me any food, So I would just, when I was hungry, because I didn't have anything healthy to eat, I would just eat snacks, because that's what we had. And I was a kid, I couldn't make myself food. I would eat what I can, which was snacks. So like, whenever I could eat something when I was hungry, it would be snacks. So snacks, when you eat them, too much, they do make you gain weight. And I was seeing it. And also, I think the shaming kept going. Like, my dad would be like, why are you eating all of these snacks? Like, shit like that. Because, like, you're not making me any food. You're neglecting me and not making me food. That's why I'm eating all those snacks. Like, huh? You know? So, yeah, he called me a cow once. Like, shit, some fucked up shit, you know? I don't look like this for no reason. Because I can't stop thinking about every sentence that comes out of my mouth looks like matches the way I look. But this coffee is so good. Wow. And also, the sidetrack, there works like a new girl in this coffee shop. And she is so cute. Like, every time I come around, she's like saying my name. She's like, Kesem, hello, how are you? Like, I love you. You're the best. And I'm like, oh my god, I love you. You're the best too. Like, stop hitting on me. Like, I can't. Gay panic. Like, I can't. And like, I get gay panic every time I go buy coffee, and I just like run away because like I can't. I'm sorry. She's too pretty. She's too cute. She's. Whew, is it hot in here or is it just me? So anyway, yeah. A lot of shit like that kept happening, so I would actually gain more and more weight. I wasn't overweight, but I was like full. I was chubby. I was. Because for my genes, for my, I guess, the way my body is built and the way my fat deposits itself, like, even weighing, like, something that was healthy for me, so that was semi-healthy, yeah, was making me look huge. And I really was. Even though like the weight itself wasn't the bad part, the way I looked was the bad part. And also my grandmom did diets and shit like that, and she could never stand in them. Like, she could never really adhere to them, and she would always like fuck up and shit like that, and like cry about it, right? And she would weigh herself. We had like a weight. She would weigh herself like every week. So I would see that, and I would weigh myself every day. Okay, it was like hidden with somewhere, and I would just like take it out every day and weigh myself. And I'm not gonna get into like numbers and shit like that because that's irrelevant, and that also is the thing that triggers most people, and they can actually take it the most into the bad side rather than the good side, so I don't see a point in sharing it. But just know that I was chubby, and this did not stop when I was 10-12. This just grew when I was 10-12, because then I moved with my mom, who I know my whole life, has eating disorders and had bulimia and did not eat because she didn't want to get fat, So, yeah, I knew she would understand. So, like, with her, I didn't feel, because she's not a grandmom that wants to fucking feed your face all the time, yeah, like grandmoms do. She was like making food, so I always had healthy food and shit like that. But like, I just slowly would stop eating and would tell her like I feel guilty eating this because like I know it's gonna make me fat. And she was like shocked. She was like, what do you mean? Like, and I was like, no, you do it too. Like, I know. And she was like shocked. She was like, yeah, I do it, but like it doesn't mean that you need to do it. Like, and I was like, why not? So like, we had a conversation about that. That made her also stop doing it, and like stop having eating disorders, and like forcing herself to get out of them because she saw like I adopted eating disorders, you know. And when I was in 7th grade, it's 30 minutes about just my story until now, but we're gonna get these videos are always long. Okay, why are you fucking complaining, bitch? Okay, these videos are always fucking long, and you know you like it, so that's why you're here. Yeah. But anyway, so 7th grade, I really saw how I was not looking the way I wanted to look like, because I went into junior high and I saw all the girls who tried to be women and all the girls that were older than me who looked, you know, so elegant, I guess, because their weight was like, not their weight, but like their bodies like looked proportionate and looked like there were models and stuff like that. But little did I know, this also comes with puberty. Yes, like these ages are super dangerous to not get educated about that, because at those ages you gain a shit ton of weight because you have to grow. You really have to, you know. And while it could be torture psychologically, it is good for your body. Like, your body needs it to grow, to evolve, to mature, you know. But nobody fucking tells you that when you are this young, you know. Like, nobody fucking tells you that, and also nobody fucking tells you that it's normal to have those thoughts and feelings about, oh, am I too fat? Am I eating too much? Am I this? Am I that? Like, it's normal to have that, yeah. But people, instead of making it normal and being like, okay, it's normal that you have that, but it's like not healthy. So like you can eat, you can be a bit full, like it's okay, you know. Instead of that, it's always like, there's no way you're not gonna eat like this. You're gonna be anorexic if you won't eat. It's a wow. Like, this is the reaction I would get as a kid. Like, this is the reaction. Why am I? You can't tell me you're not gonna eat. You can't tell me that's what you're doing. Like, actually, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, people can't breathe. I'm not exaggerating. So, I decided that when I saw all of these differences between me and the other girls that had a nice body, I also had a nice body, but I just did not see that, right? I was in my own world, you know. I had body dysmorphia. Like, I did not see in the mirror or in pictures the reality. I saw what I wanted to see, what I chose to see. And what I chose to see was a fat ass monster. Not in the good way, you know? Because there are some fat ass monsters that are sexy as fuck, you know? Ursula, sexy as fuck, you know? Mommy, sorry, but I didn't see it that way, you know what I mean? So in the summer vacation between 7th grade and 8th grade, I decided that I stop eating, and I exercised intensively every day for like those 30 days. There was like 5 days of not eating, then I eat on Friday, and whoa, damn, because like Friday was like you know, Friday evening, like it's a Jewish tradition to like eat the whole family and like sit in the table and like, you know. So yeah, I would eat then because it's a Jewish tradition and shit like that, and I love it still, and I always did, and I knew I had to eat something to live, so I would use this as my excuse to eat, and I did, you know, intensively exercise every day, and I came back to school in 8th grade completely different. Like, I was super skinny, and I was all of a sudden, like, not buying food at school, and was a bit more, like, quiet, and, like, a bit more, like, I don't know, like, I thought it's gonna help me, but it didn't. Like, it didn't. I did feel more comfortable, like, wearing things and, like, wearing t-shirts even, because I couldn't wear t-shirts. Like, I was, like, living in this movie in my head, in this story that I built myself, that my arms are too big for me to wear a t-shirt. And it's hideous and blah, 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 blah. Like, so many things, that a young girl should not think about at all. Okay? And this kept going, right? And not only did it keep going, it only got worse and worse and worse. Because at some point, I started having a girlfriend that also used to be having eating disorders or, like, body dysmorphia, right? But it kind of was on the opposite side, because she was naturally skinny, and, like, she didn't want to be too skinny, she was afraid of that, like, that was her body dysmorphia. And I was like, my thoughts, I'm gonna be the most honest with you, bitch, what the fuck? Like, I wish that was my problem, you know what I mean? Like, how can you be upset when this is your problem? That is not a problem. Like, that's what I was thinking, yeah, but of course, everyone's problem is a problem, because we make it one. We make it a problem. We can choose to do anything with it, and we'll make it a problem. So, yeah, I really struggled, she actually needed to eat more. Like, she was telling herself, oh, I need to eat more, I'm not eating enough. Like, because she thought she was too skinny. And she wouldn't eat that much in general, because, like, she was just a person who exists and doesn't really think about that as obsessively as fucking I was, yeah? And I was so obsessed with it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna eat what she eats, because clearly she doesn't eat much, and she doesn't look full, she is skinnier than I am, so, like, maybe I would eat what she eats, and I'll be fine. But then I was super hungry, and then I didn't know what to do with myself, and I was, like, also sharing all of this with her. It was a healthy relationship, the relationship itself, but we both were, like, troubled teens, and we did our best to help and uplift each other, but, there's some stuff you don't have control over. So she tried to help as much as she could, yeah, telling me I'm pretty, telling me I'm, like, her favorite thing in the world, telling me I look amazing, yeah, and I am amazing the way I am, and, all of this lovey-dovey bullshit, which is true, but at the time didn't really help me that much, because I couldn't see it for what it is. I was like, yeah, but I'm gonna still, the words that you're telling me are not going to change the physical, so, like, what is it, like, what, it's not helping me in any way. That's what I thought, and yeah, at some point, and this kept going, mind you, and when I got into 11th grade, me and this first girlfriend were still together, and I met a new friend, and actually I had two new friends, and they were really naturally skinny. This was my nightmare, because as much as I loved them as people, I felt really embarrassed walking next to them, being next to them, because I knew I was the fat one, you know? That's how I thought. Even though at that point I looked really skinny, I was really skinny at that point. Not only did I look normal, absolutely normal, okay? And I actually wasn't healthy because I wasn't eating enough. But in my mind, it was just like this comparison game, right? They are skinnier. They are this. I need to be like them. I need to be as skinny as that, because I don't want to walk next to them and stand out as the fat one. You know, which is now so fucking crazy to me. Like, that when I actually... This is like the most biggest revenge, in my opinion, to my anorexia. My ex, I like to call her. Like, she, because anorexia is like Anna, you know, she always told me, yeah, this voice in your brain always tells you, oh, you're never gonna get out of this, and only if you get out of this, you become fat. If you get out of this, you become fat. And if you start to accept yourself, you will never look the way that you want, you will never reach the goals that you want, and you will never be able to love yourself. Because you will never reach this standard that I give you, I being anorexia, you know? But fucking joke's on you, Anna. Okay? Because this is the hottest I've ever looked. Okay? I'm gonna bitch. You see this? It's not much, but it's honest work, you know? Wait, maybe you can actually see this when I do this. Maybe you can see it, but I'm working on them. Anyway, I do yoga. You know, I look so hot and I feel so hot. Why? Because I feel healthy. I feel like it's good. The way that I'm living, the way that I'm eating, my relationship with food, my relationship with my body, like, and I even look better, healthy, than I used to look when I was anorexic, because I would also have like binge eating days, and I would like be all puffy and like, oh shit. No, like, this doesn't happen anymore. We are just healthy ass bitches in this house, you know? And if you have, okay, I will tell you how I fucking chose to stop feeding this fucking monster, right? Because anorexia, we like to romanticize it. I loved romanticizing it, okay? I did. But there's nothing to romanticize, because it's a disorder. And it doesn't want anything good for you, and it doesn't mind if you are happy or not happy, okay? Anorexia wants you to die. Anna wants you to die. She doesn't want you to be the hottest girl or to be like the skinniest girl. She wants you to die. Not to make you happy, not to make you fit. Die. Stop existing, okay? Why? Just because that's her thing. I don't know. That's her thing. Are you just gonna let her fucking kill you? Because that's what she's doing. She's manipulating you, okay, in a sense, to think that it's actually good for you, what she's doing. And maybe at some point you're gonna be too tortured to even care if you're going to be alive or dead, because living like that, being fucking enslaved to the way you eat, to be so obsessed with the way you eat, with the way you look, with every intake your body has, to be that obsessed with it, it's not gonna do anything healthy for you, and it might make you feel like there is no like reason to keep living anymore, because life is torture when you do that. And absolutely, I get you, and that's why I had to choose to stop feeding her. And it's funny, I use the word, the term feeding, because that's what you do when you feed a force, a dark force inside of you. It just wants more and more and more. And it's funny because she doesn't want you to get fed, and you're feeding her by not being fed. We like word games around here. My coffee got cold because I speak so much. Wait. That was not... Wait, I'm confused. I guess I'm gonna have to edit this now, because I did some things. But let's see if I actually had everything that I wanted to say in. And if I didn't, well, I'll just film it again, I guess. But anyway, what I wanted to say... 47 doesn't make sense. Maybe, I don't know. When I chose, one day, it really happened like that. My friends and everybody knew I was struggling with anorexia, and I had a therapist at the time who knew I was struggling with anorexia, but she was like a really bad therapist, and she didn't give a shit about me. And one time it was Corona times, and it was like in Zoom meetings, and she fucking ghosted me and never talked to me again, and only informed my mom that because I did not want them to fucking drug me, because they would try a new fucking prescribed medication on me every fucking week. I'm not joking. Every fucking week. Some of the medication made my appetite go away, so I would get even more skinny, and my anorexia would be even harder, because it's like you see your bones popping out, and you're like, get off. You get off of that. And like some of them would actually do the exact opposite, and like would make me really fat, and I would like fucking cry and sob uncontrollably because the pills made me fat and shit like that. And they wouldn't give a shit. Mind you, they would not give a shit. I had to know my limits and be like, yo, I'm not gonna let you do this to me. I'm not taking any psychiatric pills because I don't know what the fucking does to my body, and I like being in control over my body. That's the whole point of anorexia, being fucking controlling your body. Not in a healthy way, but that's what it is. You want control. So when they took control away from me, I was like, no, bitch. Nah, bitch. So I'm not taking any more psychiatric pills. Like, I don't know, fucking give me therapy. Like, I need psychological therapy. I don't need you to fucking drug me, okay? So I guess she didn't think that this is how life goes, and she thought she could just fucking drug me and like make all my problems disappear that way. I don't know, maybe she thought that's how things work. She also called me not long ago, and I was like, what the fuck, why would you call me? Like, bitch? Like, what the fuck? I have a different therapist now. She's actually a good therapist. We actually bond. But that one couldn't help me with this, right? She couldn't. She didn't even try. I don't think she even wanted, you know, because then she wouldn't have a person to treat, you know. So, I one day woke up, and wait, a bit before that, what happened was I had a huge fucking mashup with the pills that they gave me. Like, they gave me Cipralex. I don't know how to say it in English, and if you have a different word in English, but it's an upper, you know, it's an antidepressant that's an upper, you know, and usually it gives you insomnia because it's an upper, you know, especially if you take it at night, you can't sleep, you know, it gives you insomnia. So I would actually struggle with this like a lot because I had bipolar. I guess I don't know if the diagnosis is still like very accurate because I'm really stable. I don't know if it's something that can change. I don't know. Like, I also was diagnosed with dysthymia and stuff like that. Like, but now I'm not. You know, I'm not diagnosed with dysthymia. I do have on my diagnosis like anxiety disorders, like ADHD and fucking bipolar. But I need to get diagnosed again just to see like if my progress that I have made any impact, because I don't feel like a person who's bipolar. But back then, when I was struggling with my bipolarity, I felt like a person who is bipolar, okay? And imagine being bipolar and not being able to sleep, okay? It gets you either on a high of like, I can't sleep, so I'm gonna fucking do everything, and I'm gonna reorganize my room, and I'm gonna fucking wash all my floor in my room, and I'm gonna start like learning a new language, and I'm gonna start sewing, and like it could also be, and you're doing all of that like throughout the whole night, and if you are not lucky, the next day you're going to be like, you're not going to sleep either, so it's gonna happen again and again and again until you're not that high anymore, but you're actually pretty low, and you can't sleep, and you want to kill yourself because you can't sleep, and you're like, I guess I'll sleep when I'm dead, you know what I mean? Like the most emoest of like scenarios that can happen, you know. This is why I set it off have a song about that, because it's the emoest thing that you can experience. So yeah, some days that are there, it wasn't high, it was low, like the way I was feeling, my bipolarity, I guess. I wouldn't take it in a productive way. I would just fucking lay in bed the whole night and be like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I want to sleep. Like, why can't I sleep? You know? Like, why is my body not letting me fall asleep? Like, this is so weird. This is so unnatural. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I would start, like, getting paranoid and being like, am I dying? Like, am I addicted to these meds? Like, am I going to die? Am I going to be like this for the rest of my life? Thank God, no. But yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I told my psychiatrist I do not want to keep taking those medications, because this specific type, because, and I've been taking it for like a long time, maybe a year, maybe half a year, but a long time. And she, just like that, without any instructions of rehabilitation, without any, downsizing of whatever amount I was taking. No, without any of that. She just gave me a different pill, and it was like, start taking it tomorrow, and this should help you. Yeah, it was from the same family. Like, the first one was Cipralex, and the second one was Cipramil. But it's like, they are different medicines for a reason, because they do different things. And they clashed, both of them. The Cipralex that was in my system for the past half a year, at that time, and the Cipramil that I just took without downsizing my Cipralex, without, doing anything, just like this. And my body went off. It went crazy, okay? It went crazy. So I had to go to like a mental hospital for them to be, I was like, Mom, I don't know what the fuck they're putting me in those fucking pills. Like, I need an actual professional to fucking see this, because I was like ripping my hair off, stuff like that. This whole video is fucking triggering. I know, I'm sorry. But like, only from this we can grow, only from this, for me telling you all the pain-filled stories that I can say like as a joke now, because it's been such a long time. Only when we discuss these things, we can actually learn from them and grow and allow ourselves to grow, because we can actually see all the facts, and look at them right now and be like, yo, do I actually want this to be my life right now? No, I don't. So why do I keep doing it? I will stop. You know what I mean? Hopefully this is how you think too, because if it isn't, then we're trying to make you think that way here. That's what we're trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do, okay? For us. Because I'm not any better than you. I'm not any different than you. Other than the fact that I'm so unique and special. No, I'm kidding. I'm so quirky and special. No, but actually, like, I'm not different than you in any way. We all had those experiences, and some people still are going through these experiences, and the fact that we've been through them and we can actually share this on a platform can help people like that who are going through these things to stop going through them, to like choose a way out. Then when all of that happened, I was in a really bad spot and shit like that, and I wanted to get even deeper into my anorexia, because I felt like I wasn't devoted enough, I started seeing like some stuff about anorexia in my social medias, and I was like way before TikTok even was a thing, but when it was a thing, no, actually it was when it was a thing, actually, but like very recent, so like anorexia didn't really pop off there then. When it did pop off, I was already clean, thank God, but yeah. But yeah, so I was like, I need to be more devoted to this, because there's some people with some like insane weight goals that they want to get to, and I was like, I should do that too. Wait, I should be like high achiever, But then I was like, oh wait, but am I not like going to die if I do this? And then I was like, oh my God, yeah. Like, people die from that. Like, people die. And I had this realization, and I was like, if I keep going, and if I dig deeper, I'm going to be killing myself. And I don't want that because I want to be happier. I want to look better. I want to be healthy. I don't want this bullshit. And I just realized that because I realized like that about the psychiatric meds that I was taking. Like, I don't want these drugs. I want to be healthy. I want to be happy. I don't want you to sedate me, you know? So I felt like this was kind of like a drug for me at that moment. I was like, yo, I'm getting off of this thing. This makes me high. Like, seeing myself, like, lose weight, lose a sense of life. Like, I give myself, like, not eat, feel hungry. Like, all of these things were getting me off. So even the feeling when your stomach is like sticking to your back and she's like, feed me, like, you get off of that when you're anorexic. Like, it's something that does it to you. You're like, yeah, I'm doing it right, like, I'm succeeding, like, this is insane, you know? So one day I just came across affirmations, and the fact that affirmations was a thing and people do it, and I was like, sounds like bullshit, but I'm gonna try it because I have literally no other way. Like, I don't know what to do. Even my therapist couldn't help, right? So, like, let me fucking try this. So I was like looking at my body in the mirror, thinking, oh my god, this is so disgusting, I don't want to look like this. But then I was like, no, mind, affirmations, right? And I was like, you're beautiful the way you are, okay? And like, you look perfect, I'm healthy, I don't need anorexia, blah 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 blah. And I would do it every time I looked in the mirror, because every time I looked in the mirror I would judge myself, right? So the whole point was, because you get a lot of self-control, right, from, you train yourself to gain a lot of control over your life, your body, everything, your thought process in a certain way when you're in anorexia, you know, when you're anorexic. Because people who are anorexic may understand that, and people who were never having an eating disorder probably would not get that. But like, you kind of like shape everything to match with that thing, like with your disorder. So every time you look in the mirror, you would say on purpose, you're this, you need to get down to this weight, and you need to do sports, and you need to do this, and you can't eat, you fat ass bitch, and shit like that. And like, you would force yourself sometimes like to do that, because you discipline yourself for anorexia. She's a disciplinary, basically. You can't eat, you need to exercise. It's things that like discipline you, you know? So you kind of like have this morbid sense of control over your body that is led by this fucking dark force. But the tools that you get from feeding this fucking monster is self-discipline. So the fact that I have learned so much self-discipline, and I'm a person who is really strong psychologically, and if I make a switch in my mind and I become like aware, I cannot become unaware again. Like, I'm aware, you know? So when one day I woke up after I did those affirmations, right? Because I every day would, you know, restrict my everything, you know, discipline myself to match my anorexia. But when I decided I am not matching my anorexia anymore, I disciplined myself to do everything that does not match my anorexia. And that wasn't binge eating, and that wasn't like, I stopped doing everything that feeds my eating disorders in general and my body dysmorphia in general. Because when you go in the mirror and you tell yourself you're ugly, you're going to feel ugly, right? So I started being aware of that, and I was like, okay, this is not what the affirmation shit is talking about. If I'm actually trying this technique, I'm gonna try it fully and like make it work, because it's the last thing I have. I want to get out of this. So I would force myself to say good things about myself, and to eat healthy, and to, you know, exist in a healthy way, have a healthy relationship with my body, and not think that I can't wear a certain thing just because I'm too fat for it, even though I was really, really skinny. Like this shirt, for example, I get the most memories from this shirt because, like, not the most memories, but I get memories from this shirt because, like, it's like around the time that I was kind of like thinking, okay, this is I really want to be wearing stuff like this, but I can't because I'm fucking insecure about my body. I'm too fat, I'm too this, or I just don't want to show myself, you know? So I forced myself to wear this shirt, and I had this as well, the exact same article of clothing, you know. I may put like a picture in the photo that I upload on Instagram along with this video to promote it, like I always do. Check out my Instagram, and this channel's Instagram, and yeah, like this, the podcast and the channel's Instagram, you know, they are one thing, because my brand is one thing. It's blunt, you know. That's my, you know, I said my motto is think about it, and my logo is hits blunt. I don't know, like my motto is think about it, my logo is hits blunt, which means think about it, actually, because when you hit a blunt, you start thinking. Everything correlates. I love how I started learning how to fucking correlate shit, because I started doing these fucking videos. Every video I'm like, oh my god, I didn't think it would correlate, but it does. So anyway, I forced myself to wear this shirt, but I also gave myself the like opportunity to hide under it, but not to hide, you know, because I am wearing it, and I am, you know. So I went outside with it, and it was a wonderful experience, and I felt super hot, and I liked the shirt, and I liked wearing it. So I started doing it more, and I started like wearing things that I started wearing things that I usually wouldn't wear, that were like not as modest, that like were showing off my body, that would make me like appreciate it more, you know. And my mom would be like, because my mom's a bit like conservative, but she never like, you know, has anything against this, but she is like a bit old-fashioned. So she would say to me like, you're wearing a crop top since when? And I was like, I don't know, I gotta force myself to love my body, so this is how I'm doing it. And she was like, oh my god, slay, like slay, girl. And I was like, thank you. And I would go with like really short skirts, and she would be like, oh my god, I'm not looking at your skirt because it's like too short. And I would be like, yeah, I know, right? Like, and she would like be fine with it, you know, because she knew I was doing it to get better and to learn how to love myself more. So wait. But yes, had I not chosen to start implementing affirmations and to start living a healthy life, I wouldn't be here. I would die, because I was close. And what I'm saying is that You have autonomy of your life. Anorexia does not own you. She is a figment of your imagination that becomes real when you believe in it. Okay? People who are still struggling with anorexia, first of all, I'm sorry, this was probably a difficult video to watch, but you know, it's crucial for you if you're still going through this, because like, you are suffering, you know? Anorexia is suffering. You don't get happy from being anorexic, or from having an eating disorder, or from having body dysmorphia. Like, these are not things who make you a happy person. I'm sorry. We want to believe that if we do that, if we reach a goal, if we reach a certain weight, or like if our body will look a certain way, we will be happy. But it's not the case. And I'm sorry, because like, even if your body gets to that goal, then you will have another goal. You wouldn't be happy then. And you know this from experience, right? That you reach a goal and then you're like, well, I can go more. I can do more. This is not enough. I still look fat. I need to lose more weight. Or like, I'm still eating. I could not eat at all, you know? So if you know that, and you know it's a hole without like an end to it, you're just throwing yourself into the void, committing suicide basically. This is, you know, your mind's version of killing you. Like, if you get enslaved to it and you don't choose to stick up for yourself, then like, it's going to kill you, you know? But you can stick up for yourself, because again, anorexia is a figment of your imagination, and it's only there, and it's not anywhere else. And if I promise you that even if you're in a community, and even if you have friends based on the disorder and everything, even if you dropped all of this right now, you will feel way better than keep going in that fucking toxic cycle. Believe me, I tried both things, and I can tell you, being healthy and happy goes together. And being healthy means physically and mentally and emotionally. And you can't be healthy when you are starving yourself. You can't be healthy when you are judging yourself. You can't be happy. No matter what weight you are in, if you are judging yourself and are not eating well, not sleeping well, your organs start having, you know, a lack of blood flow to them, because your body doesn't get food and energy. So you start dying, like your kidneys start failing, like it's huge things. It's not like, oh, I became too skinny and I couldn't walk anymore. Yeah, you became too skinny and you couldn't walk anymore. Like, do you understand what that means? Like, when you get too skinny, when your bones fucking rearrange themselves because they don't have fucking enough fat to actually lay where they are supposed to, you know? And I'm telling you this so like you would think about it in a logical way, okay? Because here we like to think logically on this channel, and as people we need to balance logic and emotions, right? And if you let your emotions control your life, and you let your thoughts control your life, you're not gonna get out of this. You have to learn how to control your thoughts and mediate your thoughts. Because who else is gonna do that for you? No one is in your mind. No one can do that for you. Only you can. Fucking wake up, okay? Wake up. You wanna be happy. You wanna live a healthy, happy life. You wanna love yourself. Start doing that. Start loving yourself. Loving yourself is not conditional, okay? When you actually really love yourself, it doesn't matter how you look, it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what you sound like, it doesn't matter how much you eat, how much you don't eat. It doesn't matter. What matters is what type of a person are you? Do you help people? Do you help yourself? Are you kind to people? Are you kind to yourself? Are you nourishing and feeding the body that is like keeping you alive in this world? And you can, take two sides and be like, choose either one or the other side and be like, well, this life is horrible and I don't want to live anymore, and why would I do something to better myself if like I don't want to even live? So like if I don't want to live and you're saying it's gonna fucking kill me, then I don't give a shit because I'm already in too deep, and leaving it will be harder than continuing. And I'm gonna tell you that no, that is not true, because the longer you keep staying inside that toxic cycle, the harder it gets, the more difficult it gets, and the more vicious it gets. Deciding you want to leave, yeah, you have thoughts of like, oh, I'm going to be fat, and that's it. And then you become a healthy person, you go to therapy, you treat yourself, and you actually realize you can actually live your life without worrying. Like, I don't worry about my body, about my food intake, my calorie intake. I don't worry about that anymore because I think normally now. It really is to think abnormally, when you're having an eating disorder, because your thoughts are misordered, are out of order. Like, you give things that shouldn't get attention, and not only you give them attention, but the wrong kind of attention. So basically what I'm trying to say here is that if you are fucking having a miserable time being anorexic, you can choose to stop being anorexic today. You can choose today to start affirmations, to start self-help. I don't know, go to therapy, talk with a therapist today. Like, I don't know, if you don't have the money for it, then like actually really do affirmations and discipline yourself to think yourself only in a positive way, and of your body only in a positive way. It doesn't matter what it looks like, because you're gonna do this for maybe a week and you're gonna be like, well, it's not working. Continue, because maybe 1 week is gonna be like nothing has changed, but the week after you gotta start feeling much better about yourself, and a month after you're gonna be feeling like it's behind you. And what a fucking wonderful feeling that is, to feel like you've won the most vicious ex ever. Like, if somebody was treating you like this, judging you all the time, humiliating you all the time, restricting food away from you all the time, and like being that toxic to you, you wouldn't be with them. Like, you wouldn't be around them. If they're your boyfriend, girlfriend, you will break up with them. Like, you wouldn't want somebody like this around you. So why do you let yourself be that one thing for you? Like, why do you let yourself do that? Anorexia is something your mind creates, okay? And your mind can also decide, if you actively decide, not to create it anymore. And yes, this is all I have to say, okay? And if you're really in a physically bad spot, go talk to your doctor. It's not embarrassing. It's actually good, and the doctor will be proud of you for reaching out. It's not embarrassing that you have gone through this and you're in this state and you need to do it by yourself. No, go talk with a doctor. Tell them, I have not been nourishing my body for this amount of time, and I've been exercising this way for this amount of time, and I've been doing all of this to my body. And they will actually could give you maybe a meal plan, maybe like emotional support, anything, therapy, like maybe they can guide you to be healthier, and that's all I have to say for you. Like, don't give up, because you're much stronger than any illness, any disorder, anything. Okay, you are much stronger than anything. Okay, and you can beat anything. And that was my chit chat for you today, guys. And I don't know why I felt like I really had to like say this. I felt like it's urged inside of me to say it. Like, maybe my spirit guides wanted you guys to also get out of the situation that you're in. And if sorry, wow, the voice crack. And if you are also a recovered, eating disorder person, and you're like me, that you haven't experienced something like this for a while, and you're living like your happy life and everything is good, then I'm super proud of you. Just know that I'm super proud of you, and I'm proud of me too, and I'm proud that like we can make a recovering community and like not stay in this toxic, like vicious cycle that we put ourselves in, because it's really important for us to be aware of that and take responsibility. And I want to thank you a lot for watching and for enjoying my coffee with me. And I'm gonna have to go now because I don't like when people hear me talk. So, goodbye.